and welcome to our show for the love of animals. We're so glad you joined us today. We have a great show lined up, so please have paper and pencil because we have a lot of good suggestions. I'm Darlene Pigford.
And I'm Greg Bauer, and we want to tell our viewers about a couple of upcoming shows.
Okay.
We've been doing some things on bees, and we've got a third part that we're going to work on doing, and also one on hummingbirds. So I think our viewers will kind of want to pay attention to the schedule for those interesting shows. And I might just mention that Angie and Wicket took the day off again today.
Yes. They're at home.
Exactly. Darlene, what's on tap for today?
Well, Greg, we have a great show, Socializing Your Pet.
Okay.
The why and the how. So introduce our guests, please.
I'll be happy to. To Darlene's left, as you viewers see it, is Michelle Fowler, who's been with us many times before. And to Michelle's right is Dena Rowe, and they have a couple of friends that they brought with us. Dena, who do we have down there today?
Today we have Tama. She's a Corso Mastiff, and she was rescued about 3 months ago.
Okay, and next to, between you two.
This is Lana. Lana's Tama's aunt, so she's got to sit beside of her. She's a Corso Mastiff as well.
Okay.
She's a senior. She's about 9 years old.
Oh, okay.
I would never have known that she was.
She doesn't know it either. Shh.
Oh, okay, all right. I understand that. Okay. Well, Dena, tell us about your fur family at home.
For a family at home, I have quite a few. I have 11 rescued dogs now.
Oh my goodness.
Including two Pyrenees that guard my flock, and my 3-legged goat, and my donkey, and turkeys and guineas and ducks. Then I have probably 8-10 cats now, and changes ever so often, but that's the current count.
The current count. Hey, she's got a bigger herd than we do.
I didn't think that was possible, but it is.
Well, it is. And Michelle?
Well, I still have several of my Mastiffs, and then I have a lot of foster dogs, various breeds, mostly bully breeds and bigger breeds. Then we have a few rescue farm animals, donkey and horses and goats and sheep and pig.
Gosh,
we have a little
you
of
have
everything.
expanded.
Well, yeah, getting a little out there.
And you've got a few cats in there too, don't you?
We do, and we have a few cats now, and even a turtle sanctuary.
Oh my goodness. Bless your hearts. Well, how did you two get into the pet business?
We've kind of been in it all of our, well, Michelle and I both combined, we have way too much experience. I was born into it, basically. Got into rescue before I realized what rescue was about. I think I started saving cats and snakes when I was about 3. And it's exploded since then, so all my life.
And then you went on to get a master's in?
Got a master's in agriculture with animal science, so I could help them even more.
Wow.
Okay.
And now, Michelle, I know you've just been in the rescue, the dog rescue, but you're...
I've done it as well since I was little. I think I collected every hurt animal in the neighborhood and brought them home, and then, went into that from the grooming, and have done rescue for many years.
Right. And now the two of you now are co-owners of a business that is...
It's a pet business. It's Fur Kids Pet Hotel, spa and day camp. It's for boarding, grooming, and day camp for dogs and cats. And we do exotics as well.
Oh my goodness. Well, well, best of luck to you.
Thank you. We enjoy it.
Yeah. All right. Now we're going to talk basically about socializing pets today. Basically, we're going to zero in on dogs. I guess we can socialize our cats later. Tell me now, what do you define sociable now? What do you mean by a sociable dog?
Go ahead.
It's one that is okay with strangers, other pets. You don't want your animal to be just friendly enough that it goes running up to everyone, but you want it to be okay with, strangers walking by, or, coming in your house, or with other animals walking by. Or, or to play. You want them to be able to go and play with the other animals.
Yeah, and with the dog park and everything, you want them to know how to behave at a dog park.
Exactly.
Because even though they can run, there are things they can do and things that I assume they can't do.
Right.
What would you say to a person who says, well, my dog is on my property, why should I be concerned about this?
Go ahead.
Well, one of the main reasons you want to be concerned about it is because the mailman or the UPS driver or somebody may knock on your door, have a package for you. Somebody from the neighborhood may show up, somebody from a church may show up, knock on your door. Have a social dog you have a lot less to worry about as far as that dog misbehaving in front of that person. Biting, jumping on them, being social / trained will help them as far as the initial interaction with other people and with other dogs.
Right. You have a dog in your yard, but that didn't keep that dog from chasing the mailman or chasing a bicyclist or chasing a child.
Or a car.
Or a car. That's right.
And then the liability you have at risk to have a dog that's not social or has guarding issues. It puts you at a disability as far as you can be sued, or your pet's life can be at risk if it does react in a negative way after someone.
Yeah. Another thing, it's a minor thing. You may work all day and might not know that the neighborhood dog barks all day. So
Right.
to have a sociable animal, if you can
Right.
control that barking. We haven't been that successful with Wicket. When the doorbell rings, we still, he's still the one in control, but we're working on it.
Yep.
So, now have these two animals been trained or?
Tama has been trained. We got both of these girls about the same time. About 3 months ago, we got them. Both of them were not social with other dogs. They weren't social with people.
Oh, you're
real. When the guy showed up with these dogs, Tama wouldn't even get out of the back of the vehicle, and she had to be carried in. She wouldn't walk on a leash. She was petrified of everything and everybody. And this is what we
Look at her
get
now.
after 3 months. And she just came back from personal dog protection from Ryan Williams at Canine Companions in Marion, Illinois. So he has built up her confidence. So now she's more confident, which will be you don't have a fear about her if you have a confident dog either. So
Wow, I just can't believe, 3 months ago.
3 months ago.
And we've worked quite a bit. We take them both to work with us daily and worked with them, socializing them with all the dogs that come in and the people. And it's made a big difference getting them, out and
In a controlled
normal.
environment.
Yes.
Okay. I just can't, when you told me that just 3 months ago and she didn't want to do anything, it's just unbelievable. Look at, and she's in a brand new environment. She's got all these lights on her. She's got all these cameras, and they're posing.
But the main thing is she's got her mama, so she's good.
Well, I know, but even with Wicket has his mom all the time, and I don't think Wicket can behave. Our dog behaves like that. So, okay.
Well, we're getting to a good start. We want to get to some specific suggestions in just a little bit on what you
Okay.
can do to socialize your pet, but we want to take a short break and let our viewers see a happy tale. And this
Sit.
is about one of the
Sit.
two dogs that you see here, Lana. And so give a listen. I think you'll enjoy it.
Elena, a Corso Mastiff, is a 9-year-old female of blue brindle color. She was rescued from her breeder and got a happy new home with Michelle Fowler. She's currently living at Fur Kids Pet Hotel with her best dog buddy, BB.
Welcome back. We hope you enjoyed that happy tale about Alana. And some viewers have asked us, they're a little confused on how they can find our show if they don't see it on Comcast Channel 2. And you can get to the show by going to your computer and going to www.paducah2.org/video clips, no space there, /animals. And you can go down and choose the show, and there will be a link that you can use to view the show. The shows are all on YouTube at that point, but this is the easiest way to get to them. Or if you're a Facebook fan, which I'm not necessarily one, you can go to Paducah 2 and search the list of the shows and play it on there. So.
And in addition, when you go there to see if you're looking for this show, you can also find some additional shows about training your dog. So in addition to the tips that you're going to get here today, you might want to look at training your dog. And we even have one, not exactly on training your cat, but at least on cat behavior, right?
Right,
Okay.
exactly. And Dena, if our viewers want to get more information about
Socializing your dog.
how can they do
I
that?
apologize. Excuse me.
They can either call us at 270-554-3872.
Okay.
They can go to our website, furkidshotel.com. They can also join us on Facebook at Fur Kids Hotel. They can like us there, and we'll
Okay.
post a bunch of pictures up there.
Okay. Well, let's get to the nitty-gritties of these things. How do we socialize our dogs? Dena, we'll start with you, I think.
Okay.
What commands, what are the basic commands that you might suggest that we try to teach our dogs?
Basic commands would be sit, stay. Heel would be a really good one to have, especially if you take your dog out with you to go to the dog park, to go to the vet clinic, to be groomed. Those are the three most important ones, I think. And sit, stay, heel, lay down.
Okay.
I think those are,
And come.
Okay.
and come.
And come.
Yeah, and come.
Okay. How long I guess the earlier you start, the better?
The earlier the better, yes. Tama was about 8 months before we started, when we got her, when we started working with her with those commands. She has a stubborn streak, so she will respond eventually. She'll get back to you. Sometimes it takes her about maybe 5 to 10 seconds, but she does know the commands, and she will eventually do it.
Okay,
But I think we should also realize that if you have an older dog, and let's say you've gotten one that's maybe 3 or 4 years old, it is still possible to teach an old dog new tricks, if
It
you will,
is.
isn't it?
Lana come to us at 9, and she's learned
At
to heel
9.
and sit and stay. But yeah, so
And
she's-
wait.
Yeah, and wait. She's learned just the basics in the last 3 months as well.
it's unbelievable. Okay, what command? I've got a new puppy. He's 6 months old. All right, what's the first command that I should work? Is there one command that's easier than the others?
I don't think there's one that's easier than the others. Dogs naturally will sit. They will
Okay.
naturally stay if they want to do it. They just have to be taught to do it on command,
Okay.
which is hard to do sometimes with some of the dogs.
All right, pick one and tell me, give me some suggestions about how to teach my dog that.
Okay, well, treats are a good training tool to use.
Okay.
If I have a little puppy, or even with Tama, because she didn't know how to sit either.
Okay.
You show them treat, and a lot of times you can hold it right over their head,
Uh-huh.
and that will automatically get a dog to sit down.
All right, now those are little tiny treats, right?
For Tama's
Well, for
size, it's
her.
about a meatball, but just a little piece of pepperoni or a bacon strip or some kind of treat. Peanut butter works real well.
Okay.
Just show it, let them smell it, and then if you go up to them, and a lot of times you'll have to put your finger and kind of make them sit, and once they do it, then you reward them.
Okay.
And then you do it a few times. If it's a puppy, you don't want to do it very long. Short attention span. As they get older, they'll have a longer attention span. You can work with them a little bit more on that command. Then when
Okay.
they accomplish one command, you will move on to the next command.
Okay. I imagine, though, it's probably a repetitive thing, too. You probably have to go back many times over and review and keep coming back.
Repetition, repetition. You teach them, they have to use it. If you don't use it, you will forget it. And the same thing with
That
dogs.
is
If you
true.
don't tell them to sit and then use that command, if you tell them to sit and you haven't said that in 3 months, they're going to look at you like, what? So you do need to use it, enforce what you've trained them to do.
That's
Absolutely.
a good point. Yeah, right. Because I remember we sent one of ours to doggy kindergarten, and we used it, the training, for like a couple of months after, but then you're right, it waned, and we did not use it. And if you don't use it, you're right, they will lose it. So.
Well, I think the other important thing too is to always try to use the same tone of voice
Absolutely.
and not change that inflection, because then they're confused.
Yes.
And
I imagine it takes an awful lot of patience, doesn't it?
It does. It can. Some dogs more than others. With Tama, she has a stubborn streak. She was harder to train and tame than my Jack Russell.
Okay.
My
then
Jack
you-
Russell's ready to
Yeah.
please.
And Lana, at her age, was very quick. She was no problem. I mean, she was
Really?
doing it immediately.
I would have
So, yeah.
thought, but
No.
she's older, right?
Right, but she's one of those very eager to please, and
Oh,
she picked
person.
it up within no time of being there with us.
Huh.
Yeah, and Alana is 9 and Tama's 1. And Alana was probably more happy to do the commands than Tama was,
Yes.
because Tama has a stubborn streak and she's young. So
Okay.
when she has the maturity over Tama, she was easy to train. So it just depends on the dog.
Okay, which leads me to the question, I don't have a pet, but I'm thinking about getting a dog. you know, we already have one, we have to deal
Right.
with what we have.
Right.
But are there certain breeds that you would recommend for families, or certain breeds that are easier to train, or any comments about breed and socialization?
Did you do that
You
one?
have to, when you're picking a dog, rather than just going and saying, oh, what a cute puppy, you need to research your breeds to see what fits your lifestyle better. You don't want to take, per se, a very energetic dog, such as a working dog, a cattle dog, a border collie, into a apartment life where they don't get to get out and run and exercise. You have to know what kind of breed it is and what to expect from that, because it's not fair to the dog if you expect it to be calm, lazy, laid back, or not a barker if that's the characteristics of its breed. So you can't say this one dog is better for every family. It depends on each family's lifestyle. If you have space to run, time to walk, a backyard for them to run and play in, each breed is different. If you want a lazy little dog that does nothing, you get a little small foofy one that doesn't have to require time to get out and run and play. If you go with a bigger breed where these guys, they have to have time to get out, but then they're very lazy natured dogs as well.
Oh, are they?
Sit. Hey.
Well, most people don't. We don't. It's an aftermath. We usually pick the dog.
You pick by the cute puppy or something,
Right.
and then that's why so many animals are either rehomed, surrendered to shelters, or
Yes.
rescues, because, like somebody recently had taken in a Great Dane puppy, and then it was like, oh, it's too big for our apartment, but
Great Dane?
yeah. So you have to kind of go with what to expect of the dog as it grows up. Good girl.
Oh, well, yeah, that's common sense. So,
Right. You would think so.
yeah,
You
so
would
do,
think so, yeah.
so do your homework.
Exactly.
Think about your lifestyle, your energy level, and how much time and effort that you have. If you work, even though you've got a backyard and you've got, you want to take it for walks on, but if you work, 12 hours a day, that's going to be hard to do.
Exactly. And you have to look at your time that you have to commit to the dog, and your level of commitment that you're willing to give it is before you even get a dog anyway, especially a puppy who requires a lot more time for the basics and the house training and then just regular training. You have to have enough time set aside and the patience and be willing to do it, because it doesn't do any good to get one and expect it to just fit in your lifestyle if that's not the type of dog it is.
Excellent point. Excellent point. Something to think about.
Oh, we've got so many things to think about
Yes,
here.
we do.
That's not the thing.
I'm learning a lot.
Oh, we want to take a short break now and listen to a happy tale about a cute little cat named Tiki. So give a listen.
Tiki, an American shorthair cat, is a spayed female of gray beige color. She was a stray from McCracken County that ended up at Fur Kids Pet Hotel. She's approximately 1.5 years old and is a very loving and sweet girl. She's enjoying her new loving home at Fur Kids with her kitty friend Bandita.
Welcome back. We hope you enjoyed that little tale about Tiki. This afternoon we're visiting with Michelle Fowler, who's to Darlene's left, and down on the end of the table there is Dena Rowe, and they're sharing some wonderful ideas with us today about socializing your pet. And Dena, if our viewers want more information about some things that we've said on the show, or if they just have some questions, how can they contact you too?
They can give us a call at 270-554-3872. They can send us an email at furkidshotel@gmail.com. They can visit us on Facebook at Fur Kids Hotel, or our website at furkidshotel.com.
Okay, that's plenty of ways to do it. So.
I'd just like to bring it to attention, there was a recent article in the Purchase Area Family about socializing your pet, Michelle, and this was an excellent article. And in there, I don't know if you remember, you told us why petting there are benefits of taking time to pet your animal.
Yes, it's clinically proven that in petting your animal, it releases hormones or serotonin levels in your body. I remember the other.
All the feel-good hormones.
Yeah, all the feel-good
Good.
hormones. It releases, it shows that children with ADHD, that it helps calming, people with panic disorders now, a lot of times the doctors are actually, it's a prescription that they can have a pet because of the calming that it brings.
Oh, really?
Yes.
A prescription to have a pet?
I've seen it, especially with people who live in apartments.
Live in apartments, oh my
Exactly.
goodness.
And it's very, I mean, you know, if you think about it, people in general, when they're upset, you know, they go home and love on their dog. It's very soothing.
You're absolutely right. There's nothing more than, you know, spending time with your pet. No one understands you like your pet does.
No one will ever love you like your dog does, or your cat.
Yeah, your cat, that's
your
right. Well, with those two, I mean, I can just see, I mean, I'm just amazed at you know, their history. This one, you said was 3 months old. This one was 9.
9 years.
And they've only been in training for 3 months, and my heavens, they're better behaved than some of the children I know.
Tama's definitely better behaved than my 3-year-old. I can tell Tama what to do, and she'll eventually respond. My 3-year-old just looks at me like,
What?
what does that mean to me?
Oh, okay. Let's return to some of these commands. You said sit, like with the treats. How about come? How would any suggestions on how someone would teach these animals? Oh, I guess.
She's making herself comfortable.
Oh, she's making. Okay, I thought
She's laying down. It's nap time.
That's fine, dear.
Stay.
That's fine.
Come here.
But I thought when I said the command, it didn't come anyway. How would you help her with that command?
Sit.
Well, you could start with, sometimes if you have a high energy dog, come may be difficult for them. If you have them in the sit position,
Okay.
you can have someone kind of hold them there, and then you can take a few steps away with the treat and tell them to come. Have that person let go of the dog, and they will come to you. Once they come to you, then they get rewarded. Then you could try repetition as far as getting them to stay by themselves and taking a few steps back, and then tell them to come, and if they come to you, they get rewarded.
But
So you just
wouldn't
want a
tell
positive.
them to sit though before the come, would you? Would that?
You can. If they've mastered the sit command first, then you can go move on to the come command. So you're reinforcing the sit, but you're teaching them a new one of come.
Okay, so you'd have them sit, then you'd go a few paces, and with the treat.
Yes.
Okay.
And if you don't want the treats, you could do the positive reinforcement, or even just with the toys, the squeaky toys or things like that. Because you want to get them eventually, as they learn it, to wean off of the treat, because you don't want them to expect that treat every time. You can gradually get into just the positive, you know, patting on the head, loving, you know, good dog, instead of just treats.
That's a good point. In other words, other than treats, there are other things. Let's go back. You were talking about petting them.
Yeah, just a positive reinforcement.
But it
Oh,
could
good
be
dog, loving
good
on it, you know, something like that. You can use a squeaky toy or their favorite toy. A lot of times, you know, you can get their attention if they're in the sit position to come when you squeak their toy or something. But you know, if you're out somewhere and you want your dog to come to you, you might not have a treat, and you might, you know, a positive, good baby, good boy, come, you know, they'll react to that as well.
Okay.
Just for that positive, loving.
Okay. All right. Let's go back to what we were talking about at the first of the show. I'm in my yard. My dog is well behaved and socialized, but my dog sees a rabbit, or there's a bicyclist, or there's an unusual truck, and maybe my dog feels threatened. But you want to control the dog. You don't want him chasing that kid on a bicycle or something. What do you do? What could you have done ahead of time, and then what do you do in that situation?
Well, ideally, if your dog is more social, they're going to handle different stimulus in their world better.
That's an excellent point. Okay. All right, but let's say maybe this is too much stimulus for them.
That's where your basic training comes in. Your point, the biggest positive of having the basic training is you can redirect your dog.
Okay.
If it's something like that, say a truck or a bicyclist goes by,
Right.
and they go to chase it. If you have your dog trained well to your verbal commands, you say stop, come, you know, sit, and you can redirect it from chasing that bicyclist, and it also gives them a little reinforcement too that it's okay. You know, you can reassure them then that it's fine.
All right, so I would think maybe if I'm going to have my dog outside and not in a fenced yard or leave, maybe the stop command would be very important.
Or sit, stay,
Sit.
come.
I mean, but
Or
if
even come. If you see that happening, you can go out on your porch or whatever and say, come, the dog comes to you, and then you could verbally reassure them, because sometimes they may be barking out of fear
That's
or
true.
just excitement. It just depends on how they're feeling, but if you, as soon as you break that train of concentration and get them to you, then you can verbally reassure them and tell them it's okay, it'll be okay.
And even in a close-up, like if you're at the dog park and your dog reacts to another dog, you know, another
Okay.
command is no or sit down, something to redirect them away from that dog. And because, you know, when you're in a close-up situation like that, if a dog fight breaks out, you want to verbally be able to get your dog to stop and walk away from something.
Okay, that's a good point, with the dog park. So what you want to do is you want to break the concentration and then and rely on the previous training that you have done your dog. So I guess from a personal point of view and from a liability point of view, it's very important that you socialize your dog, right?
Yes, it is.
And
I guess, I'm sorry.
the socializing would mean the kind of basic commands like we're talking about.
Well, it means good behavior, right?
Well, and
Right.
having them around people, you know, getting them out around people and other animals to keep them, you know, where they don't have problems with any particular people, kids, adults, anything like that.
Okay. So in other words, the animal needs to be exposed to a wide range of stimuli in a controlled environment so that when it might be a problem, it doesn't turn out to be a problem.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Okay, I know. And so a dog owner has a lot of responsibility, don't they?
Yes, they do.
And it's
they-
more than just loving a little puppy, isn't it?
No, it's very similar to having a child. You know,
Oh, it
you-
is just
it's
like
very much,
having a
yes.
child. Because now a dog with good care will live about how long these days?
Depends again on the breed. You they say anywhere from 8 or 9 years to 20 years, depending on the breed and depending on the dogs.
Yeah, an indoor cat can live easily 15 to 20 years these days.
Exactly.
So,
Well,
wow.
There's so much stuff to think about, but just a little bit of common sense, and if you're not sure about what to do, ask some people who have done a good job of training dogs, and you've got some sources here. Call Dena and Michelle.
They've got lots of tips for you.
Dena and Michelle, we want to thank the both of you
Yes,
for coming
so
and sharing
much.
some things with
Thank
you.
you.
I know we've just scratched the surface
Yes,
on
we
this,
have.
but I think we've given our viewers the kind of thing that they need to get started. So thanks again to the two of you for coming today.
Yes, thank you so much. It's I see dog lovers in action.
Thank you for having us. We appreciate
We
it.
are so glad to have you.
And so in closing, Darlene, I think we'll we've learned a lot of things
Yes,
about today.
we have, Greg.
And I want to remind our viewers what we tell them all the time. Give your pet a little extra love today and every day.
And a lot of training.
Exactly.
Okay.
See you next time.
Bye.